So, Mr. R.M.G.B. Rajanayaka will now present his research on development of a ready-to-eat, high-nutritive meal with extended keeping quality and ready-to-serve balanced meal with extended keeping quality. Well, a food science topic looks like important.
Thank you. This is my research topic, development of meal with extended keeping quality and it's a balanced meal with extended keeping quality. This is my work because for the convenience part, I'm going to present this area and this is affecting existing meal packs for information and energy variation with ingredients like moisture, then safety and keeping processor and ordinary ingredients, designing a high energy, high nutritive and low weight food and its modification, taste and immunity. The objectives are the identification of high energy and high nutritive commodities, locally available commodities, and identification of local available commodities with effective quality and nutrients. Then analysis of existing products to evaluate quality and nutritional information, production of lightweight product with extended keeping quality. Basically, and this about is the one case I'm carrying out the research and then the University of Sri Jayewardenepura. I have done research survey on these areas, food recipes for task-related people and high caloric and high nutritive commodities, food processing techniques without affecting nutrients, and then vitamin and other essential nutrient losses. This is also a research survey, but I mentioned here what I have done and not done. Organoleptic properties that to be done, sensory characteristics to be done after complete development of the food. Food packaging also to be done, that is also after developing this thing. Food analysis already have done. Deciding a food is in process and modification also in progress. Analysis of existing similar products. Chemical analysis done in science laboratory and microbiological testing is also done in microbiological laboratory. Tests are specified in slide number 13. And other tests will be carried out at the University of Sri Jayewardenepura and necessary. Proximate analysis. Actually, here I have done protein content of each processed food item measured with macro-Gildan method, and crude fiber content measured with AOEC official method. Fat content also I have determined in substrate extraction, and there are two other processes depending on the food variety, burner speed and cross fertility process. Moisture content measuring AOC 19 method, and ash and acidity soluble ash phosphate plus index for mineral content also determined. Existing samples, main packages I have obtained are tempered rice, plain boiled rice, mixed fried rice, vegetable curry, and chicken curry with potatoes and mutton curry with potatoes. Then the extra meal items which are served for the starch-related people, cream cracker, small pack, Kraft cheese, small size can, packet of seedless dates, and dates. Since the nutritional information are available in these things, I will not focus on these things, but later I would analyze when they mix into my product. Sample preparation for microbiological analysis, since extra meal items were in well-sealed packed microbiological analysis performed only from meal items. Samples were collected to sterile containers after opening and subjected to microbiological analysis mentioned above and obtained these results. Coliform, actually, M3 plate count test, SLS results all the given essential errors of microbial content and to be recommended as safe to consume. The sample production of milk analysis. Since nutritional information of extra meal packages is known, can analyze only the main meal item. Each package was homogenized after opening and subjected to the above mentioned testing. Results were definitely as follows. These are the results. Actually, from this graph, this is the relationship between moisture and the energy levels. Because we can't reduce nutrient, but we can reduce moisture to get lesser weight product and increase other components to give high values, high added value to the food. But there is a limit without affecting the palatability. These are the results obtained by chemical analysis: moisture, local ash, sensorial ash, protein, fat. Protein, fat, food fiber, chloride, phosphate, potassium, carbohydrates, and carbohydrates. So these are the results obtained by analyzing the existing packages. Then the energy calculation, I have used these factors, these level of resolution factors given in the standards. The conclusion for above data is the moisture levels of extreme products are as shown in the graph. High, and we can go for lower level without increasing the organometric flotation and palatability in order to reduce the weight and size of the packet. Thereby, we can include other essential ingredients. Then the total ash content of the rice packs are low, means the low contribution of minerals from the rice. Disregarding the rice, and either we can add minerals to fortify the meals, or we can substitute some other grain which contain more minerals. Either two can be applied. Then the protein content is also low in rice packs, so protein-rich food should be incorporated to fulfill the protein requirement. Or meat or fish content can be increased to the required level, or sometimes some other protein-rich component could be added. The alternative ingredient for the rice, we can use finger milk, which is having more soluble fiber. So we can use finger millet instead of using rice. But we can't use as only ingredient because it will affect the palatability. So that we can ideally, we have had some amount of rice or wheat flour to make it palatable. Fulfilling the essential amino acids, combinations of different food commodities. Rice is having amino acid which is not having in soya. Rice is actually poor in sulfur containing amino acids like methionine, something like methionine. So we can, soya is rich in methionine. So we can combine those two to get the full complete requirement. Bean also having these essential amino acids like tryptophan, tryptophan and phenylalanine, because these things we can include to fulfill the requirement. Then the other essential ingredients, like iron, magnesium, calcium, which vegetables are using to fulfill mineral requirement. Some compound beneath the glucose, oil, etc., which also supply fiber, thereby fulfilling the satiety and energy requirement with a fairly small portion, which facilitates carrying easy, and we can carry it easy wherever you go to last people. So these are the design packs. Small pack you can carry one portion and consume breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Those are the compositions which are trials carried out. The assumptions made by the by these yearly values, these properties, because these extracted from the labeling and advertising regulation 2005. Then palpability, we are in the process of testing palpability in different form, different grade and equilibrium society, which is a major requirement. Usable fiber content is increased by adding feeder millet, which is locally available component high single fiber. This is the palpability test so far being carried out. From that, sample G is having a more palpable than the compared to the samples according to the available data. These are the unique mixture. Coconut, finger millet, wheat flour, these three. Taste and use, actually use spices to our food, not even to give the flavors and other things. These are having some medicinal value. So we incorporate these things to boost taste, immunity, and actually required flavors. Kind of with turmeric, mustard, and ginger. Thank you.
The presentation is open for discussion.
You already have developed some of the foods that could be used, is it? So you already have formulated some kind of foods, no?
Trial stuff.
Okay,
Trial
so
stuff.
you have given it for testing, test. Only 10 or 20% like. How do you feel that? How you are going to improve that?
Actually,
But
we have,
that was right. No?
yes. Actually, we have to do some more.
Yeah, but why did they say they don't like it? Is it the texture or the flavor or what?
Actually, the texture and flavor both. Because we
Not the order.
Water content and the
Order.
yeah. And the color, appearance, everything will be sensory qualities.
You know, when they say that they don't like it or they like it, so did you inquire why they don't like it? Whether it is the taste or the flavor or the
Yeah, because
appearance?
what they feel when they are chewing or biting, what they feel.
Yeah, that is taste.
Taste and texture.
No, especially if they mention anything like in some cases like the instant
Texture is the main.
and
Texture
also
is
the
the main.
order.
Yeah, texture and the taste is the major thing they have highlighted.
There is no order apparently.
Yeah,
So apparently you can include those things.
definitely.
What is the weight like of your packet or whatever?
Actually, the existing pack, 3 packs will weigh more than 1 kilogram, right? But we are going to reduce that weight by 1/3 at least.
At the moment it is 1 kilo.
Yeah, but as I mentioned in my presentation, reducing moisture, because a lot of moisture is there in these packs. But without affecting the palatability, we have to do that. That's a challenging task. So anyway, we are trying to achieve that. By adding new
Will it be
flavors.
more powdered form, just add water and have it somewhere?
Yeah, but it's like drinking tea. But transplanted people, they are exposing to drastic conditions, and sometimes they feel to eat some
Fish.
food which fulfilling the society and the taste and because they used to eat biscuits and other things for a long time, and that's the reason why.
It is not in the powder form at the moment.
No, not in powder. Now actually so far we have developed a burger type in small
It's all combined together, mixed together.
it's like this. We made a vegetable paste, not paste, vegetable paste like thing incorporated with the finger millet and wheat flour cover. Not like sandwich, actually it's inside burger like.
There's 2 parts, I think. One was the drink.
Huh?
The drink.
Drink, not yet in Europe. Because this I'm hoping to start in half an hour's time, because this is the main thing I have to focus. Drink, of course,
can reduce and make it at the same time. I mean, if the food is too dry, of course, then it's difficult to consume. I mean, there should be certain amount of moisture. What is the least amount of moisture that should be there in a food? I mean, we have to have a limit.
So far, we could reduce 40% of the existing moisture, but without affecting the palatability. We are trying. Still, we are trying.
You are going to dry the food or make some kind
Not
of...
completely dry.
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned every time. I mentioned without affecting the palatability, we are trying to reduce. I'm trying to reduce the volume and moisture.
Now, so far, what is available in the market in the sense for especially intended for this kind of people, semi-solid, mainly semi-solid, which contain more moisture. So we feel that moisture still can be reduced to certain extent. That is, now we are struggling to reduce the moisture as minimum as possible while keeping the valuability. But compared with those rations, we are applying red from spices to make it palatable so that can also mask some other odors also.
Yeah.
How long can you keep at the moment your food, whatever?
Actually, it's still European stage. Unless we get the package, we can't analyze about this. But we are hoping to keep for at least 3 years. This package. That is the main reason we are trying to reduce moisture. Not to suppress water activity, to suppress microbial
The thing is that you had not analyzed, you had tried to compare it with some already known food, but you have put brand names, which you should not use brand names in presentations.
It's mistake. I corrected yesterday that the Kraft cheese that we just on that and bean crackers also. I put the word cracker, but you left it. Yeah, that's correct. In fact, yesterday I corrected this, but we need that.
This will come as a semi-solid product. This will come as a semi-solid product. Semi-solid.
Normally semi-solid. So existing products are semi-solid. But more than that, we dry, right? More than the existing product.
So will there be 3 types of variations of the same product? Good for breakfast, good for something like this. And when you talk of these rice, now you have compared the nutrients in the boiled rice you showed the graph. So have you done for different types of rice? Sakumo and somewhere different types?
Actually, this is only analyzed for the existing products. Now we are getting
Analyze what and we analyze what the existing product. From
Input rice. And they are already identified because most of the, many of the packs are coming somehow basmati and also so then the nutrients vary in different rice. And also the keeping quality matters. That you can be kept for a long time and
that is there. Rather than normal rice, people can keep for a long time. So those things we are taking into consideration when the modifying and developing stage on the existing package.
Is this a PhD or a PhD? And in which year you are studying?
First year.
Yes. So you have enough time to see, I think that's why I was also looking, I was thinking what type of product will it be and also just a solution if you are looking for the palatability, I think you should concentrate more on children because right. It's that. It's for slides? Okay. So here we have enough time. Looks like we have just started your research, and I think like in next 2 years we will come up with
Actually, thank you very much for your comments. I have noted down everything. And next, it was time for you to discuss it, and I will go forward with these things. Thank you very much.
that compared to the rest, no such local product there that thank you, Mr. Jayewardenepura. And now we will move to diversity and ecology of lichens in the Knuckles Mountain region, Sri Lanka by Mrs. WMGSK.
Today's presentation is about portfolio lichen communities as indicators of vegetation types along environmental variants in Knuckles Mountain Range, Sri Lanka. Today's presentation is part of my thesis work. So, lichens are many ecosystems, having microbiome having an obligate association with the photobiome for fulfilling nutritional requirements. Slow growth of a lichen favored by high humidity, cool temperature and right amount of light. Lichens are long-living organisms. Symbiotic relationship enables colonization in vast spectrum of habitats and climates, even in most extreme environments. So these characters have helped to recognize lichens as one of the widely used bioindicators. Sri Lanka is biodiversity hotspot, but still dearth of information is available on floristic richness and distribution of cryptogams, algae, lichen, mosses and ferns in Sri Lanka. Lichens are recognized as a dominant element of cryptogams of tropical forest. So this could also underline the largest element in Sri Lankan cryptogams. So far around 800 lichens have been reported from Sri Lanka, but this can be more than even 1,000 or more, because unexplored locations may reveal many new species and undiscovered species. At the same time, molecular phylogeny has revolutionized understanding of many tropical lichen families. So it is very important to revise the taxonomic status of the lichens that has been recorded since 18th century. And also, further research is needed in Sri Lanka to understand the total biodiversity of lichens. This study of portfolio lichens was undertaken in order to determine the ecology and diversity of portfolio lichens and their association with microclimatic and phorophyte variables in the selected study sites of Knuckles Mountain Range. In the Knuckles Mountain Range, no other lichenological research has been done earlier. And also to identify lichens using standard methods and to prepare a checklist for Knuckles Mountain Range and test for potential lichen indicator species in selected vegetation types. Knuckles Mountain Range is a unique biological resource in Sri Lanka. So it has been declared as a World Heritage Site on 2nd of August 2010 together with the Cotton Plains and Adams Peak Wilderness. Having diverse climate and the topography has established several different types of vegetation within this mountain range. Stratified random sampling was followed to establish plots of 100 square meters representing different vegetation types in different altitudes. 10 trees were randomly selected to surveyed Horticulous lichen from each plant. Horticulous lichens were surveyed for the quantitative analysis using 5 microplots of 250 square centimeters, and cover values and frequency of each lichen was recorded for each tree. Other than this, lichens were collected from all possible substrata for identification and preparing the checklist. This presentation includes the study that carried in montane forest, sub-montane forest in pristine undisturbed conditions, and montane and sub-montane forest in disturbed condition, and 2 other plantations, pinus, tea, acacia, and forest plantations established by the forest department. Microclimate and 4 or 5 variables are recorded within each plot, and also for each tree where we surveyed Horticulous lichen for the quantitative survey. Canopy cover, light intensity, vegetation type, status of vegetation are among the microclimatic variables, and bark pH, type of tree, nature of the bark, pH and inflation was recognized as the 4 or 5 variables. Lichens are mainly identified using their thallus morphology and reproductive structures of lichenous fungi. Identification of different genera and species in some of the families, example Graphidaceae and genus Usnea, were carried out by high performance of thin layer chromatography. Most widespread tropical families, example Graphidaceae and Pulveraceae species, were confirmed using molecular methods. Data analysis was carried out using PCR6 software. 2 matrices were used. Data analysis methods we used in this study were non-metric multidimensional scaling (NMS), non-metric multi-response maturation procedure (MRTP), and integrated species analysis. Real smoothing was used to compensate high beta diversity when carrying out the NMS analysis. Moving to the results and discussion, high sulfur diversity got recorded for the sub-montane forest sites, followed by the montane forest, both in the undisturbed conditions or pristine conditions. Out of the disturbed site, lowest alpha diversity got recorded for the finest plantation. Without the beta diversity for the total study plots recorded at 48.1, it is a very high diversity value. 750 specimens were identified during the study. It includes 9 new species to the science in family Graphidaceae. Family Graphidaceae is the most dominant family in tropics. And 150 taxa are new records for Sri Lanka. Out of that, 666 taxa are new records in Indian region. And 5 taxa, which were thought to be endemic and declared as endemic in India, are no longer to be endemics because we are importing them from Sri Lanka. 2 of the taxa, genus and both species, new record for Indian subcontinent and also for Sri Lanka. 13 taxa, the species is a new record for Indian subcontinent, and both the genus and species are new record for Sri Lanka. 51 species, new record in Indian subcontinent and for Sri Lanka. 1 of the taxa represent genus and species, both new records for Sri Lanka, and 83 other species are new records for Sri Lanka. Out of the 750 identified specimens of this study, significant results were recorded for the family Graphidaceae. Family Graphidaceae, as I mentioned earlier, is the dominant family in the tropics, and 50 currently accepted genera are sitting within this family. Out of that 50 genera, we have species belonging in 21 genera in Sri Lanka. So this is a significant result. And 115 taxa were recorded for this family in 21 genera, including 9 new species for Sri Lanka and for science. And out of the identified lichens, 69% belongs to non-Graphidaceae family, representing 38 families of lichens. And 31%, or 1/3 of the lichens, are in the Graphidaceae family. In Graphidaceae family, 56 taxa are new records for Sri Lanka. Out of that 56, 27 or 50% are new records for Indian subcontinent. And within this family also we found 2 species that were thought to be endemic in India but no longer to be. and genera in Sri Lanka, we pair the identification key, because for latent identification keys we have very old keys what we are using, and so this key is an updated key what we can use in future to identify rest of the genera in the country. Moving to the new species, two of the new species belong to genus Chapsa. I had the honor of naming them for my two supervisors, and they'll be published in the Lifelologist 2012, Chapsa Jayewardenepura and Chapsa bulsiana. One of the species belongs to genus Fissurina of family Graphidaceae, named as Fissurina srilankensis. And four of the species belonging to genus Graphis srilankensis, Graphis ardualensis, Graphis totulugalensis, and Graphis nagalensis. 8 species in genus Teloprima. It is named as Teloprima pseudosibilans because Teloprima sibilans is discovered from Japan, and this is significant from that species, so it is named as Teloprima pseudosibilans. All latter 6 species has been published in American Journal of Biology in 2012. And 9 new species, but we are working at the moment. I would like to call it Nidotrima srilankensis, and it is also distinct species because most of the species belong in this genus has no secondary chemistry, but our new species, it has 3 components. And also the ascosco and aside are very distinct from the other species found in this genus, which are made recording in the Australian flora and fauna. So we had the good opportunity of analyzing some of our species with molecular, and sequences were generated for more than 40 specimens, and they contributed to publish the work Megaphylogyny of family Graphidaceae. So this work has updated phylogeny of Graphidaceae, including 930 operational taxonomic units of all over the world, and up to 3 genes per every species, and this classification of subfamily to subgeneric level of family Graphidaceae, and phenotype characters what we are usually using for morphological identification, such as extruded carbonization, presence of columella, ascospore types, and secondary chemistry were tested during this study. And secondary chemistry is uniform within large clades and usually constant within a species. So this is very important for recognizing species of this family. And also we got results to see degree of carbonization of extrudum. Columella is also species specific to higher degree than that was earlier thought. And now moving to the quantitative analysis data and the results. NMS, non-metric multidimensional scaling, gradient lines show the correlation of parameters with altitude, pH, and light intensity. Vegetation types were significant indicators of species composition. Example, undisturbed submontane, tea plantations, forest plantation sites, pines plantations, disturbed montane, and acacia plantations. NMS ordination had 3 dimensions and explained a total of 62% of the variation. Ordination stabilized at final steps of 12.95, having very low p-value. First axis explained 33% of the variation. pH had strong positive correlation, and altitude had negative correlation with the first axis. Second axis is much weaker than the first one, explains 17% of variation at light intensity, one of the microparametric variable, at strong positive correlation with the second axis. Third axis explains the least variation, 11%. However, no correlation was showed with any of the measured variables during this study. MRPP, non-metric multi-responsive maturation procedure, is a non-parametric multivariate test to differentiate the groups, or here we recognize them as different vegetation types. So, like the composition of 8 vegetation types in this presentation differed more than expected by chance. All the pairwise combination has low p-values, and A statistic range from 0.02 to 0.13. Highest average distance was recorded as 0.762 for disturbed submontane forest. So disturbed submontane forest became the most variable group in the lichen composition. Indicator species analysis. Any biological species that defines a trait or characteristic of the environment is known as the indicator species. In this analysis, present analysis, lichens were considered as an indicator species when the indicator value is more than 10. All species but we got as indicators were exclusive to one vegetation type. Out of the 146 species analyzed in the quantitative data, 46 species had significant indicator values, or 1/3 high low key values. 66 of the species were rare species because they had indicator value less than 10. And 49% of the species were extremely rare lichen species because they had indicator value even less than 5. So here are some of our indicator species. For undisturbed montane forest, we had 3 indicators. Lichens, disturbed deep plantation also had 3 indicator lichen species. Disturbed forest plantation has the highest number of indicator species, including 2 of the grasses, 8 indicators. Disturbed pinus plantation has the lowest number of indicator species, only 2. Disturbed montane forest, disturbed submontane forest and disturbed acacia plantation has 3 indicators in each of them. Moving to the molecular analysis of Pyromelaceae. Why we select Pyromelaceae? It is the second dominant lichen family in the tropics where worldwide identification is now available. But phylogenetic and its morphology-based generic elimination remains untested mainly due to the difficulty of obtaining DNA from herbarium samples. While we focused doing the molecular analysis, we got very interesting species collected from Knuckles Mountain range and we had very freshly collected samples with us. So phylogenetic relationship using a multi-gene analysis of different species of Pyromela and a preliminary data set of 21 other taxa were analyzed. Based on molecular data, it can be said Pyromelaceae can be divided into 2 groups. Genus Pyromela, the common genus in Sri Lanka, is not modified. Morphological characters that are as for color, septation and secondary chemistry, epithelium structure and all what we usually consider under the microscopic observation are not correlated with these 2 groups. However, the presence of pseudosepale is restricted to species of Pyromela for 1 group that is non-covalent. So this is our resulting tree. So it shows Pyromelaceae forms a well-supported lineage and divided into 2 clades, clade 1 and clade 2, both supported by 100% bootstrap. Clade 1 includes Anthrophysium and several species of Pyromela found in Europe. Clade 2 includes 4 species of Pyromela sampled in Sri Lanka and rest is coming from other tropical countries. Presence of small white patches on the thallus surface, or we call them pseudosepale, restricted to species of clade 1, European species, and absent in species of clade 2, tropical species. And also personal observation confirmed that the species collected from Java, Indonesia, Borneo, Sarawak, Malaysia, Singapore and India, they also does not have these pseudosepale. That could be a very interesting character to identify the Pyromela species in this country. So here are the 4 species that were used for the analysis, and you can see none of them carry this white color crystal patches on the thallus itself. Now moving to the conclusions. Highest alpha diversity recorded in submontane forest, including low frequency species belong to Chlorophysiae and consistent contribution by tropical family Rafflesia. Present study documents the extraordinary diversity of Sri Lankan lichens, especially of Rafflesia, the dominant tropical family. Previously unknown and unreported lichen taxa continue to be found in Sri Lanka at a remarkable rate. Significant indicator values reported for 46 lichen species that are exclusive to one habitat. So, lichens are potentially useful bioindicators to assess degree of disturbance and ecological continuity in the montane tropical forest and montane tropics, such like the temperate forest. He is prepared to identify 21 genera of family preliminary results of family finalization forms a well-supported lineage and divided into two traits supported by 100% bootstrap, opening a new door to carry on more research work. Now I would like to thank the University of Sri Jayewardenepura for funding the grant and my two supervisors, Professor Sri Jayewardenepura of this whole project and my supervisor, Dr. Catmuls from London, and British Life and Society for their two travel grants, and Natural History Museum for all the facilities provided during the molecular work and identification, National Science Foundation grants to Field Museum USA to study the Lactasian family, and Oregon State University for their internship to analyze and study all the statistical data. These are some of our publications we have done so far. Thank you very much.
Again, it's time for questions.
I have not the background, but I would like to know what the word secondary chemistry. Secondary chemistry.
Secondary metabolites. Actually, they
They are secondary metabolites.
We get a lot of chemistry, use a lot of chemistry in identifying. Yeah, so
The metabolites are identified how.
they are because of the HPS, things can be used to identify some of the chemistry. So they are used in the key chemistry. So different species and different genera have specific metabolites, secondary metabolites. So they are used in identification.
Because most of the cluster species in the tropical region usually found in sterile condition. Then morphological characters are not much used in identification. So then we have to analyze the secondary chemistry or the metabolites in there. And most of them are species specific or genus specific or family specific, so they are very helpful.
By analyzing them, you can say that it's
Sometimes when you just know the chemistry itself, I mean, if you know one. But now with the molecular data, there are certain things are changing. But still the chemistry is very useful for preliminary identification. Genus so the species. But species now the molecular is much more important than confirming this variations.
molecule in the sense by looking at DNA.
Yeah.
So because family characteristics, it is believed that we have around 1,500 to 2,000 species found in tropical region. So it is essential to carry on the level as my supervisors tell. Otherwise, it's very complicated when it becomes the sterile clusters.
You can't identify.
It is very difficult to identify.
Yes, the work is commendable because it must be in the third year.
Earlier, I was finishing and writing on my thesis with my supervisor.
So, and then you are supervised the team, of course, has done a very good job, and I think this will give a new light to the to reveal the biodives, especially the wealth of lichens in Sri Lanka. Because always we feel that we should study about the plants around us that we see very easily, but very few scientists pay their attention to study all this, laborious work to find out all these characteristics of fungi and algae and to characterize the lichens. I just want to know now, you were showing your results, and at one stage you said the diversity was high in the sub-mountain zone. You have been comparing 8 vegetation types.
For today's presentation, I included 8 vegetation types.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So sub-mountain. Do you know why, or do you have any answers for having the highest diversity in the sub-mountain rather than mountain or the lower dedication?
Yes, subcontinent actually that lichens prefer cool temperature and right amount of light and humidity. I think within the areas the sampling occurs mountain range. So this particular vegetation type is giving the ideal environment for establishing more lichens. And also most of the lichen species in the tropics, that when we look at the literature also, they are restricted to sub-mountain kind of elevation and topography.
Also the substrate, we looked at the corticolis level, that is we also down this bark of the tree. So that is another reason. And also generally now you go up mountain forest, you don't get big trees. So the not enough substrate, so whatever that is there is confined to small trees. The area which is colonized by lichens is not much. The expand is not in it. So that may be another reason which we have not looked at. The structure of the vegetation is quite different.
And also that might be the reason for this, one of your principal component analysis, the DBH of the trees, the tree level, there's a significant variation for the so it must be one reason, area that is covered by the. Did you look at the bark characteristics?
Yeah, of course, yes. Bark, pH, texture, yes, texture and type of tree, and even associated other species. Yes.
Because peeling bark and all, they not how much like it won't. It peels off also. The bark that has so strong and different kinds of bark and lichens have some kind of difference.
Have you found any lichen which is unique to Sri Lanka?
This
9 new species of
No,
plants. We
no,
have some
I
no.
don't know whether they're unique, but maybe they have not been
Found anywhere in the world?
Yeah, not
so far not found in India.
in the tropics. The study has done even in Sri Lanka. This has been done sometime by much work. So now doing this molecular work and other things. So things that have been identified also changing now. So we have all
For area pockets, we have a lot of gaps for the lichen studies, failure pocket, East Asia and Southeast Asia. So it is better not to call them endemic at the moment, though they are different.
When you were looking at the important values, I think depending on the, tell me if I'm wrong, right? But there were two groups of dominant and rare species.
Yes.
And that was based on IDI values.
Yes.
And finest plant, the rare ones came from finest plantation.
No, madam, no. This is the total amount of lichens that used for the quantitative study. Actually, rare species are found mainly from subcontinent rocks.
finest plantation we don't need.
We don't have, only 2 or 3 species are restricted because of the bark texture and
Because it's finest.
Yeah, because the bark is quite different.
And it has a lot of receipts and that type of.
and they are monocultures also, as plantation monoculture communities.
Let me see the first one again, where the finest plantation came from. The results one. The one that you showed just now, the bar chart. The bar chart is giving total amount of the total amount of
Those saccharines we got recorded for the finest plantations.
as well as the forest plantation. What were the species?
Mostly it can be the Acacia and other thick custards.
What type of
Substrate, plants that we find.
Plants actually like they are plants planted by forest forest plants, but planted by forest department like in mid-1980s.
What are the plants?
So the same plants what we found in other pristine forests. They've been totally destroyed the patches, but now they are planting plants that was cultivated in the nurseries in some forest plants.
There might be answers for all of these questions.
Yeah, because they are the same as the mountain forest. This altitude is the same. 1,131 meters. They are again 1,300. So the same range. So the forest plantations, they have the same plant for different
Same plants and same altitude, and
but then why
and cold and temperature.
Yeah, so the DBH and other things you can compare and see whether they are different, having the same plants, but they are different in the
And also these forest plantation plots are not very mature and older compared to submountain forest in pristine condition. Though the same plants are there, they are not mature trees.
They have been planted in 80s.
Mid-80s.
DBH will not support much substrate for them to grow.
Why have you selected specifically this region? Are there any other regions? I'm not a botanist, that's why I'm asking. I mean, any particular reason for
Yeah, that one reason, main reason is no other like molecular research has been done in that mountain region, and that most of our floristic analysis focus on Singaraja forest or Horton plains, and very few has even done in the central mountain region. So Nagas has 21,000 hectares and has not got due attention even for the higher plants. So we thought we focus on that. And it is my supervisor's idea.
area because although it's a mountain forest, it's different to the other mountain areas when it comes to higher plants also. So there are some differences in the distribution of higher plants also. Oxygen species, some of them are not found in the special ones are there in the Nagas region. So it's separated. Although it's mountain, but it's separated from the valley. So these differences are there in the lower plants as well. So we have not compared, but there are some people have done the Horton plains now. So we have never compared the Anisas with ours, but maybe there are differences in the distribution of some of the species which we don't know. So since the Horton plains have been done, we selected
And also within this mountain range, there's a high altitudinal range, 150,600 to 1,900 meters. And topography and climate is different from north to south and west to east. It was the main reason.
areas are there to engage.
So 13 different types of vegetations are found and categorized in this mountain.
Nice feature and really valuable. As Sri Lankans, and we should be proud about all the tough work and they have been taken throughout the years, going through the forest, collecting all these things, all these and identifying. So thank you, Mr. Nico.
So thank you very much for your presentation.
Moving to the last presentation. Moving to the last presentation, I invite Ms. C.D.K. Patinalan to present her work on investigation of the extent of pollution in Athanaganu area. Galoya, Uruval Oya and Kimbrapiti Oya together forms this particular river and discharge into the Nigamba lagoon as Tanigamba. So it is the uppermost part is called as Atharagaloya. When it comes towards the downstream, it is called as Tanigamba. So the one significance of this particular river is it has 3 national water supply and drainage board intakes which supply water to majority of the Nigambo and Ekala area. So when it comes to the past record of this particular river, according to the lab report of National Water Supply and Drainage Board, which was mainly focuses on their intakes, they have shown the COD and BOD values were very high in their intakes, and also among them the highest value recorded at the Kottikoda National Water Supply and Drainage Board intake. And when it comes to the low flow times, the COD become very high, and also there is a recorded that there is a trend of increase in the conservation of heavy metals also. So the aim of my study is to investigate the contamination of Atharagaloya water along the main river. So there are 4 objectives: investigate the land use pattern along the river, analyze physical, chemical and biological properties, investigate the possible sources of pollution, and propose pollution control measures for problems identified. So I will give you briefly what is the methodology. The method here, what is followed is a monitoring program, and to follow it up for a period of 2 years time. Water samples were taken from 10 selected sampling locations. So the difference between those sampling locations were considered, and those will be further analyzed using field investigations, and also observing the industrial distribution along the river, and also the river basin, possible pollution sources also identified. So furthermore, the results of field investigation are also used to find out the pollution sources. So the values that was taken were compared with the CEA proposed standard for drinking water category 2, and also the SLS standard 722. Check the suitability for drinking purposes, and there are many other water uses also. So tested with the standard, we use the standard of Central Environmental Authority standards. So these are the sampling locations, including the starting point M1 and the location near the sea outfall. There are 10 sampling locations, including 3 National Water Supply and Drainage Board intakes, which were encircled here in Utah. These are the sampling points. So the method which was was the composite sampling. This was done for the parameters pH, turbidity, phosphate and nitrate values, minerals and other biological parameters. So in preparation of this composite samples, equal volumes from each edges were taken, and also sample from middle, and together combine the composite sample, and to analyze the BOD, and COD, samples were taken from the middle of the river. So to avoid the tidal effect, sampling was conducted at the high tide of each month. So these are the parameters and the test methods, isolation method and maximum quality. So let me move on to the work that I have done so far. Yesterday I have completed the water sampling and laboratory analysis, that means the monitoring part. So I have prepared the monitoring report for each and every year, that means 3 indication of the land use pattern along the river also. According to that, 90% of the basin is situated at an elevation less than 35 meter. So the main land uses that I found were urban data plants, homestead, rubber, coconut, mixed trees, paddy, forest and natural wetlands. Also identified the industries along the river and their distribution. So I have identified 103 major industries which discharge their fuel to the stream. And apart from that, there are large number of industries situated in Ekala and around Jayala, and also industry at Katunayaka Exposed Processing Zone. So there are some industries which are not directly discharged their effluent to the stream, but somehow there are ways to that make pollution, discharges come, that means come towards the stream. So in my field investigation, I am trying to find out them also. So from the values that I have taken from my monitoring plan, these 4 areas, the colored in green, should have to be further investigated. And further investigation has to be done. There should be detailed investigation. And also I have analyzed the variation of the parameters with the river flow also. This particular river has the peak flow value at 35 meter per second. So the highest 50% values are at the average of 22 meter per second. The high flow is observed during September to December and in the month of April and May. So based on these flows, I have analyzed the variation of the parameters, mean values of the parameters. So according to that, the mean turbidity variation of river is as like this. So statistically, there is an obvious difference between the values that were taken in low and high flow rates, and almost all the intakes are above the standard value. And also there is a difference in pH with the flow rate conditions, but still values are within the standard. And due to dilution, pH value during the low flow is less than the values during the high flow, but the difference is actually not significant statistically. And DO variation along the main river is also higher than the minimum standard value, so it is acceptable range. So when it comes to the BOD variation, the BOD value during the low flow is higher than the respective values at the high flow, but their difference is not obviously significant. However, the intakes, 2 intakes, 130 and BPM are above the standards. The other one is within the standard. The COD also the mean value is higher than the standard at some points, but fortunately the water supply and drainage intakes are within the limit. The coliform variation is actually very high when it compared with the standard. Almost in all the sampling locations the values are very high. And that is mainly because of the tributaries and other small township pollutions that is occurring mainly during the rainy season. And fecal coliform variation is also similar with the coliform, the earlier, similar with the earlier pattern, and all the intakes are above the standard. So the work that I have to pick are making this plan just to give some recommendations to the CEO of the water board or supplier. The configuration of water board I am doing because they are giving the facilities. So because of that we are focusing the intakes, but other than that we are considering the whole basic.
You said you collected samples only at high tide.
Yes.
And because there will be variation.
Actually, the conductivity chloride and chloride, we got the values from both low and high tide. The values of conductivity chloride and chloride varies actually because of the tidal waves. Only the sea outfall sampling, only at that sea outfall sampling point. It does not affect to the other parts, but only for that the last sampling location. So to get that problem minimized, we thought of taking samples at time.
Also, you said there are about 103 industries around there. Have you identified what those industries are? I mean, what level of pollution is causing to the river? I mean, maybe all are not at the same level, so you have to categorize them and see how they contribute to the pollution of the river. So the numbers alone.
So I am working on that.
Yeah, so I mean, you should have done it. Otherwise, when you're going to the field twice, once to collect this data, at the same time, you should do, categorize them according to once and for all, you finish it.
Because as we are doing this monitoring plan, we have no time to get other data again and again. We have to go there.
You have to go to the field.
Yeah, I would like to add to what Sri Jayewardenepura said, because in the first slide you said you had already collected your data and now you are about to analyze. So just having said that, there are 103 industries, and the industries may be on different scale. They might be small scale industries, they might be industries with sewage treatment plants, and also organic or chemical, we don't know. In addition to that, there might be a lot of the shanties or influence coming from shanties and household all kinds of water. So that you have to investigate, because otherwise, when you talk of pollution, it's a very broad word, and you have to see what really makes the problem.
Actually, I have finished collecting the data just for the monitoring plan, and through the field investigation, I have to collect the other data. Mainly because once we are doing this monitoring plan, actually taking samples for the analysis, actually it has no time, because this started at 6 a.m. and end up at maybe sometimes 7 or 8 o'clock around. So after we are doing the audience and everything, so sort of doing it leisurely, and that means I have started actually. Already started.
And the other thing now, how are you going to analyze this data now? You are about to start your statistical analysis, and you have just mentioned a few graphs saying that they were statistically different. So, but because statistics is also important for to come into conclusion. So, if you can just tell us very briefly what had really, what had made them significant, or what were the tests?
What we did is we actually categorize the data into the data from high tide and low tide. Sorry, low flow and high flow. And the difference, that means the difference was compared using the one-time 2000 test, and check whether there is a significant difference between those two levels. And then also, if there is no difference, then either of that means low tide or high tide value is compared with the standard. So otherwise, we compare that with both low tide values, low flow values and high flow values with the standard.
Portfolio form. You should how many tubes you use per bus? How many tubes you use? Which table you use? 3 tubes? Yeah, I know it's not 100 million, but the number of tubes that you use 60 tubes. Dilution, how much? Yeah, you have sets of tubes.
Yes.
I would like to know whether you use three tubes in each set or 5 tubes.
Five tubes.
And then the values in the table is, I don't know, you don't get up to 40,000. Usually it's, when you get all 5 classes, it gives some more than something, but it doesn't give a figure like that. As far as I can remember in the table that you have for the EPM table, right? When you have all 5 tubes positive and you go above something, this kind of values I don't know what table is. Yeah, but 40,000 exactly you will get that in the table. I don't know how positive you are going to do. You check on that. Correct table values. And it's for fecal full forms.
Your work is complicated because you are talking of the spatial variation as well as temporal variation, and you have collected data monthly for 2 years in 10 locations, and you are looking at so many parameters. Probably they are individual effect as well as the combined effect. So that is what you call pollution. And the title says that you are investigating the extent of pollution. And there might be certain indices which have been developed in other countries where you really combine these parameters to bring up a kind of a model or an equation or an index, so that you could use that index for different sampling stations and see, really get a quantitative value rather than being more descriptive. So it will be a very useful work for us, and for you as well. It will be more meaningful if you do some more literature and see how you could come up with new things rather than describing that this site had this and that of course everybody can do, but your research, for me, I think you can improve a lot. That is how I see into your research. So you have time because you are about to analyze, and you could improve your analysis skills, data analysis, and after discussing with your supervisors and also other experts in this field. So because so many parameters are included, and always there is a variation in water quality with respect to rainfall, climatic conditions, pollution, diurnal, all sort of things are included. Anyway, it's a good piece of work, and I think that's all. Are there any questions? More questions? Right. Thank you, Ms. Pakirana. So this is the end of another research session at Sri Jayewardenepura University, and now today we listen to co-presentations, and of course the presentations are compared when you do presentations at a stretch in this type of a session, and sometimes the presenters may feel that feel your weaknesses as well as your strengths, because you are compared with others, and of course some have just started work and some are at the end, so you can't really compare and see who has done well and that type of a thing. But the main objective is that you present and you get confidence in presenting your research to a scientific audience, researchers or scientists, and at the same time you get so many questions so that you could improve your research in the future. So 15 minutes is not enough to describe your research. Probably those who have who are at the end, right? And anyway, I think this is a good practice because unfortunately, even in Colombo University, we don't have this kind of a forum where outsiders come and listen to your presentations. There are research fora, but it's all internal. So this will be a good chance for the researchers as well as the supervisors to get some comments. And I would say, Professor Senarath, that next time if there will be a panel of people from outside, it would be better because you have just listened to me what I have told, but it might sometimes be correct or not correct, I don't know. So then you will listen to more people and you will get more comments. So anyway, I am thankful to the presenters, the students who have done all the hard work, and also the supervisors who have been with them throughout, because without their support they wouldn't have been able to continue their research, and the guidance has been there all the time for all the students. So I am thankful for the supervisors as well for bringing up their students to a good standard. And finally, my thanks go to Professor Senarath, the chairperson of the Research Board of Life Sciences. And thank you very much for inviting me. And I hope you all had a productive session. And all the best wishes to you all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sujeta. So this is the end of the Progress Review seminar session. And before winding up, I really would like to thank some of the people who really made this event a success. First of all, I would like to thank our Vice Chancellor, Dr. N.L.A. Karunaratne, who has given really a good thoughtful thing that we really should think. And also Professor Danta, who is the acting dean of the Faculty of Graduate Studies, who share his comments and the thoughts regarding this type of session. Without the support of Professor Swarna PhD, the Dean Faculty of Graduate Studies would not be possibly made a success. And this is not a session which has been arranged by me as a chairperson. This is a combined effect. As a board, we always make the decisions, and all the board members give the support, their comments to improve these things. And Dr. Sujeta, so actually we have requested the supervisors to invite the two reviewers, the specialists from the field, to give the suggestions. And I'm very much sure that some of the supervisors have invited, but they are not here today, maybe with their busy schedules. If you can see the audience, all the lecturers are also having the lectures, so it's the term time even in Sri Jayewardenepura, but it is what we were expecting. And so I really would like to thank Dr. Sudhira Ranwala. So let's put our hands together with a big applause, because she has given a real good remarks. Being an ecologist, being an environmental scientist, though some of them, one of them is not really related to the environment, she made good comments. And all my colleagues who are here, giving the support and the suggestions, and some of the senior academics who left early has given their comments in writing, so we can hand this over to the research students to improve your on research work if possible. If not, just even at the time of analysis you can incorporate some of these things just to get high quality thesis at the end. I am very much happy that today almost all 4 research were according to the topic, and the research were carried out according to the topic, and I feel that all the supervisors have guided them nicely, because in the last Friday we found that some are not really with the same session like today. So anyhow, and all the research students who are here today, and also my research students who have given a big audience here, sitting all the way, and all my colleagues, thank you very much for all of you. And at the end, I really would like to thank the Deputy Registrar, Faculty of Graduate Studies, Ms. Sri and also Ms. Sachinta and Ms. Manjul, and also our media unit. I'm very much sure that the Vice Chancellor is going to see this, although he is not here for whole day today. So thank you very much for all of you, and the lunch is served outside, so thank you very much.